So IoT is basically Internet of Things. It's everyday devices connected to the internet, providing highly useful data about the world around us and about ourselves. Okay, that's what Internet of Things is. Why is Internet of Things important? All right, so the forecast is by 2020 there will be 3 to 5 times the number of devices connected to the internet as there will be people. The reason why this is important to you is because within the next 3 to 5 years, somewhere between 50 and 60% of IT spend will be spent on Internet of Things. Okay, so if you want the next big industry in terms of IT, it is IoT. There's a lot of great opportunities coming up in terms of IoT. Gartner reckons that the actual economic value that the Internet of Things will add will be in the trillions of dollars. Okay. There's also lots of, but one of the biggest industries or sub-verticals that, in terms of IoT is the medical industry. So you can actually say that the Internet of Things will start saving people's lives. It's also going to improve service levels. Okay. You think about the IoT connected device that automatically identifies that it has a mechanical difficulty, right, and goes out to the internet and schedules a work order. If it's an industrial device or it's a home device and says, "I have a problem, please fix me." Right, that's going to improve service levels. It's also going to make things faster. Ultimately, it will also reduce a lot of costs. Not in the short term, but in the long term, it will reduce a lot of costs. So there's lots of great things about IoT, and hence why everyone's really, really interested in it. Probably one of the biggest things that people are focusing on these days. There are, however, what I would refer to as a few clouds on the horizon. 75% of businesses. So one of the issues that around the Internet of Things is it's basically kind of the Wild West right now. I can't remember the statistic, but the amount of investment that's going on right now in terms of venture capital on IoT in Australia is huge. But the problem is, because of this proliferation of all these different technologies, there's no standards. So it's the Wild West, people are building things. And what Gartner is saying is that basically by 2020, most businesses will have 3 to 5 different IoT architectures in their business. Which means that probably most of the cost of actually deploying these solutions are going to be to consultancies to actually integrate them all together. Another interesting statistic, 75% of IoT projects will take upwards of 2 to 3 times as long as originally planned. This is another interesting one. By 2020, there'll be a $5 billion black market in fake IoT data. And for those of you who are in IT security, or interested in IT security, right, by 2020, something like 25 to 30% of all IT security spend will be on IoT. So, moving on to the concept of social IoT as a concept. So as I said, the way I look at this is it's kind of like a circle. There's IoT that impacts your social networks, which impacts people. So there's the impact of IoT on people. And then there's looking at people and how they work, right, and then applying that to IoT. Imagine this world. I'll throw a few statistics at you. Okay, by 2020, there'll be over 50 devices in your home connected to the internet collecting data about you. Okay? Another statistic. Right now, for those of you who are in big data, the 3rd biggest spend on big data these days is around IoT, specifically around geospatial data. So there's all kinds of businesses right now that are using the geospatial data generated from your mobile phones and your other devices, like my little GPS-enabled wearable, to figure out where I am. That's happening now. Okay? And the next statistic is IoT privacy right now is characterized by, we were in 2010, and it's still the case now, is largely unregulated. There are no laws specific to IoT that are enforced. I checked that. The EU is putting some laws into place. But generally speaking, most experts would agree that from a privacy perspective, the Internet of Things is self-regulated. Right, imagine a world where you come up and you meet someone, and within that 30 seconds, you found out 50 to 100 things about them. You know where they last had dinner, you know what their education is, you know what they're doing, you know who their family is, you get all access to social media, you get all that access to all that information about that person. Does that make you a bit nervous? And tell me that it's not happening now. You guys couldn't discover 2 or 3 things about a person in 30 seconds, but in this new world, all this stuff is going to be made available almost instantaneously. So that to me is one of the bigger ways that IoT socially will impact people. There are other ways, right? So as I said, I call that social transparency, right? Everything you do, whatever you've done, wherever you've been, everyone can potentially know about it. If you ask anyone in the room, right, is privacy important? They go, yeah. Then you ask them, did you change your password? Did you put any security things in place? Did you do anything to improve your privacy? And people will say no. It's the privacy paradox. In other words, people will say something's important, but they won't do anything to defend it. And the point is that most privacy these days is centered around the password concept, which requires some sort of human intervention. In the Internet of Things, there is no people. So having a password is, what's that going to do? You can't. You have to have a process whereby the thing establishes its security itself. So that makes the process even worse. My point to you is that this social transparency, people are going to have more visibility. It's going to be a challenge. Yes, we'll put processes in place, and people will cotton on to that, and some people will be more educated than others, but it will be a challenge. The other issue is just information overload. Every day we get overloaded by information. You know, I think I got 5 different email accounts, and I get texts from different people, and my phone, and I'm on a pager because I'm in the RFS. Imagine all that data that people are collecting from all those IoT devices, bombarding them with more information. And I think that's going to have an impact on people as well. Locational opportunism, right? The fact that you closer, and from a social perspective, these devices identify that you walk by this person, or you walk by this physical area, and it does something. Hopefully for good, but also sometimes maybe for bad. And the last thing is social instability or job loss. There's no doubt in my mind that the implementation of IoT will change business models and will change people's jobs and will make a lot of jobs obsolete. Anyways, there's the concept of how IoT will impact people, and then from a social perspective, there's the concept of using how we integrate socially to design IoT. So there's an argument that says you can talk about how people work together and apply that concept to IoT to solve architectural problems in the Internet of Things. So anyway, social Internet of Things. So here's my friend Homer again. I would argue that it's the next evolution in IoT, right? So IoT were, were people connected through the internet, and then they had social networks, so they were basically using the internet to do social things, right? I would argue that IoT is devices connected to the internet, and then SIoT is these devices working together in social networks to provide value to us. And as I said, there's 2 ways of looking at this. This device is impacting us, and this way the devices socially, that concept can be applied architecturally to IoT design. All right, thank you for your time. Really appreciate that.